If I started reselling sneakers in 2025, this is exactly how to do it. The first thing I do want to talk about is understanding the sneaker resale game in 2025. Now, I can't even lie to you guys, the game is not the same as it was, especially when I was in high school, which was about 3 years back. But I gotta say, I really believe this wholeheartedly. And I do want to say that when it comes to something you want to do, I feel like if you really want to do it, you'll do it by any means necessary, and you'll make a way even when there is no way. Now, before you go ahead and even touch a single pair, I would definitely say you need to go ahead and understand 2025 and how it has changed. So I do want to kind of give you guys a little story from a couple years back, and that story is basically just talking about a pair of collab sneakers, and this was a pair of Travis Scott's. And these Travis Scott's, grabbing them, you can go ahead and flip them for about $80, and that basically was the move. But now things are tighter, more competitive, and smart buyers are everywhere, you guys. I feel like technology makes things a lot harder. I feel like they play a big role. You got botting and things of that nature, but we're not going to get too much into that, at least right now. And I'm going to give you guys a couple of key points and how you guys can go ahead and understand the game of 2025. Now, obviously, sneakers are always going to be strong in demand, you guys. We always need something on our feet to go ahead and wear, and people are just really into fashion as always. So there are some niche markets that will win. So I do want to say also that the bot raffles still will dominate, and there is still a space though for the manual users. Now, third thing I do want to talk about is you want to focus on the real value per dollar and long-term flippability, you guys. I feel like a lot of people may be more prone to think about the immediate gratification than the delayed gratification, and that is exactly what I'm talking about. And you do not want to just think about hype alone. That's one thing, because hype always dies down at some point. So you definitely don't want to buy a sneaker that is of hype now, and then, for example, will die in a couple of days, weeks, months, whatever the case may be. The second thing I do want to talk about and bring to your attention is where to start. And I'm going to give you guys a simple roadmap to go ahead and get started with no expensive botting or no bulk buying. First step I do want to talk about is you want to follow key sneaker news sites. Now, these can be newsletters, they can be just different websites, or just different things of that nature. Some things I can think about that I used to actually follow myself for sneaker releases and things of that nature would be Sneaker News. You also do have Soul Retriever, Nice Kicks, just to name a few. But if you guys do want to find a couple more, I'm pretty sure you can search the web on YouTube, and I'm pretty sure you'll be able to find some for sure. Now, step 2 is to get on the raffle calendars and start manually entering. I know these may seem low chance, but this will definitely give you the extra edge that you need to go ahead and get you a pair of sneakers. You can also look at local flips. This includes things like Facebook Marketplace. You got OfferUp and eBay typing. Now, I would kind of be wary about these kind of sites because you don't know if the sneaker is real. So definitely make sure. I know it can be hard sometimes, but try to give it the eye test. Kind of see, is this something that looks credible or something that looks like you should be buying? And I'm not gonna lie, I knew someone who started flipping sneakers, and they built up to the new releases within a couple months. In high school, I used to have a friend that used to, and I did say used to, he has a couple of other things he works on currently, which is real, but he actually used to do this as a hobby in school, and he used to be making some little side money for reselling sneakers. So I do want to say that once you score your first W, don't sell it fast. I'll show you in a few minutes how to time your sales for way bigger profits. So before we go ahead and get into that, we're going to go ahead and get into what sneakers you should focus on as a beginner or even intermediate, advanced, whatever you're at. But I do want to say not all sneakers are worth flipping. You definitely want to be timely. Make sure you know what you're getting into in the first place. And this is especially true in 2025. But here is a little cheat code that I know and that I think will work pretty well. So I would say I'm gonna name this in 3 tiers for you guys. And the first tier is gonna be the high profit hype. And this is for luck-based access. I cannot talk to you guys today, but this includes collabs. These include Travis Scott shoes. You got the Off-Whites, the Union Jordan releases, which we've been seeing a lot recently. We got tier number 2, which is going to be the consistent winners. These are sneakers like the Dunks, if timed correctly, the Jordan 1 mids in clean colorways, New Balance 2002 R collabs, and things of that nature. Now, tier number 3, I feel like this is one that people skip out on and don't really know too much about, but these will definitely take some research, and I feel like with all things, you really got to be persistent and be able to learn on the go. I feel like that's one of the main things that I've learned when it comes to you wanting to do new things and just be able to be the best in the area, or just continue to improve and get better. You must learn to learn, you guys. Like, that's a really big portion. Learn at a good level, at a fast level. But anyway, tier number 3 is the underrated used sneakers. Now, you can look for pairs that are used like lightly. These include sneakers like Air Max 90s, you got Ultra Boost, the A6 Gel Canos, and things of that nature. Now, I had a friend that actually picked up a used pair of 350s with a small scuff for $90 and flipped them on GOAT and cleaned about $180. I've heard about this all over the internet, and I'm pretty sure this will not be hard for you guys to go ahead and do, as long as you guys go about it the right way. And yeah, the next thing I do want to talk about is where to sell and when. Now, let's say you've got a pair and now it's time to figure out where to move it and where to get that max value. Now, some beginner platforms that I can think of, and are some names you've probably heard too, include GOAT, eBay, and Elias. Elias is one of those that I'm kind of new to, but I'll go ahead and put a picture on the screen as well as the website so you guys go ahead and see it for yourselves. Some of the more advanced platforms include like Discord groups, you've got the Instagram DMs, and in-person events. Now, this is for those people that are actually trying to really get it and are just wanting to take that extra step forward. I feel like especially the in-person events, they require more effort, more energy, and just you kind of networking and really have to get yourself out there and talk. But some timing tips I do want to give you guys is you definitely want to sell within 24 hours if the hype is at its peak. And for general releases, I would definitely recommend you hold if the demand spikes post drop. Now, stick around, because in the next section, I'm telling you, I'm going to break down how to take better photos and write listings that actually will sell. So this is actually going to be how you can go ahead and list and make them stand out. Now, I feel like I kind of have a little bit of, what can I say, credibility in this era, or in this area, because I do YouTube content. I do sneaker reviews, which requires me to get sneakers in the right spots, looking pretty good. And I'm not the best, but I definitely can say I know about lighting, I know about certain angles, and just different ways to go ahead and make a sneaker or whatever object it could be look better. So I do want to say most beginners may tend to take those blurry photos and those one-word descriptions, but here's what to do instead. And I'm not gonna lie, I have a bunch of family members that are the victim of this too, and that's okay, you guys. We all start at a certain point, and we're all not just born with skills, unless we go ahead and learn it and do it ourselves a couple times and put in the reps. But a couple things you can go ahead and utilize is natural lighting. Natural lighting can include the light from the sun. You can go outside, take some pictures, or we have lights you can go ahead and place inside your house. I'll show you guys an example of a couple lights in this video, but you can use multiple angles, as I was saying before. And you definitely want to have a nice clean cut background. You don't want to be distracted by what you may have in the background, and yeah, because you want to have the whole video or picture focusing on the product that you're showcasing. You do want to include condition details, such as if it's used, lightly used, if it's new, whatever the case may be. You do want to include the box status. A lot of people care about the boxes, especially if it's a nice box. But you also obviously want to include the sizing info. Now, a title example could include Jordan 1 low shadow toe, size 10, worn one time, and then OG box. Now, let's go ahead and talk about some of the mistakes beginners make that I did go ahead and promise I was going to go over. So now here is the section that's basically going to separate the flippers from the fumblers. And I do want to say, chasing every single hype release instead of building niches is definitely one of those things that you may think it will help you, but it won't, because if you kind of get a niche, like a niche kind of product, or like a niche couple of products for your sneakers or whatever you're reselling, you definitely will kind of stand out, because you have more of a target audience. If you're kind of going for more of those hype releases, you may kind of like get a couple sales here and there, but then again, you won't know what your actual audience what your actual audience wants. Now, I can kind of speak from experience because I did try this when I was starting YouTube. And an example was I was kind of posting vlogs, I would post hair reviews, I would post sneaker videos. But then once I went ahead and found like that kind of winning product, which was my sneaker content and things of that, I kind of just doubled down on that. And that has helped me a lot because now YouTube knows who to recommend my content to. And not only that, my audience can subscribe because they know that I'm consistently going to post just about sneakers. And I feel like this can kind of resonate with reselling sneakers for sure, because if, let's say, you resell a bunch of Jordans or just whatever the niche can be, the people will continue to come back to you because they know what they're consistently going to get if that's what they're interested in. And I'm telling you guys, you can basically make a niche out of anything. Just make sure you stay in a specific lane, because I'm telling you guys, it is going to benefit you in the long run. And I feel like that's one of the things I wish I would have knew, even in the YouTube aspect. I feel like it still applies. But you definitely do not want to forget fees and shipping costs. For sure, that's one of the big things. Holding pairs with no demand also is another one of those big ones, and waiting for price spikes that will never come. I can definitely say there is never going to be a perfect time. Well, there may be a perfect time, but I definitely want to say for the most part, if you have a good feeling, I definitely say trust your gut, trust your conscience, and yeah. Last thing I do want to talk about is ignoring the sneaker condition or authenticity. You definitely do not want to come across as untrustworthy or someone that is just very lackluster with their work. I feel like people can tell that with the eye test. And not only that, you definitely do not want to just sell a bad product and get a bad review, because that can definitely ruin you in the long run. Now, coming up next, I'll give you the fastest way to go ahead and scale from flipping one pair a month to 5, even with no buy access. So this is where we're going to talk about basically where you flipped your first few pairs and now you're ready to level up and scale. So you definitely want to start using profit trackers, and some things that I've heard from the net and other sources include things like Flip Tracker and Seller Sprite. These, you guys can go ahead and check them out on your own. Then again, I'm not really a avid sneaker reseller, but I'm pretty sure you should be able to find them. I would say you should definitely join groups or Discord servers with drop info. This will help a lot. And I feel like this is a take that I feel like not only would help in this area, but also in other areas in general. I'll definitely join a group that has a lot of other sneaker resellers doing the same thing as well. Because not only will you learn from them, but you also will just be able to like take their mistakes that they had in the past, and you'll just like go much faster at a faster rate, especially if they had more time in the game than you. You'll definitely learn a lot that way for sure, because I experienced that with YouTube. I don't know if you guys know who this is, but I do a mentorship from Avery B. He creates YouTube content. It's a different niche, but it kind of still applies because he gives you the basics that he wished you would have knew at an early time, and it kind of just speeds up your overall route. But you also do want to build a trusted Instagram page or TikTok to sell locally. That is definitely very beneficial. People are on short form content a lot. I guess YouTube Shorts, Facebook, and all that stuff would really help. But I know for sure people are on Instagram and TikTok about these things. And you also do want to reinvest your profits instead of cashing out early, you guys. You definitely want to put back the money into the business, you guys, until it's to a point where it's kind of comfortable and it's kind of consistent. So yeah, this is a great video. I hope you guys loved it. I had a great time kind of picking up those points and kind of like making a best video for you guys to actually benefit from. You guys, make sure you guys like the video. If you learned something, go ahead and subscribe for more drops, resale tips, sneaker reviews, top 10 lists. I'm telling you guys, I do it all in the sneaker world. And also hit that notification bell for the daily uploads, even twice a day. I'm thinking about posting twice a day. But go ahead and comment what your first flip will be. But if you already have had your first flip, go ahead and just comment down what it was, how much you made, the whole experience. I would love to hear it, and I'm sure the people would like to hear it as well. But go ahead and watch my next video right here, which is on the sneaker trends that did die in 2025. so you can go ahead and stay ahead of the resale game. I'll see you in the next one.